Hello! Today we're going to go over how to make Sage the baby bunny. This is the next addition to my Stitchkins collection and the second baby animal. This pattern can be found as a downloadable PDF with all of the regular instructions, written instructions, diagrams, photos, coloring page, and all of that detailed stuff in a printable format over on Etsy. Or you can find it for free written on Instagram or here in video format on YouTube for those that are joining us. I'm going to go over how to make the puppet version, but the pattern can also be made as a regular plushie. The puppet has a finger tube in the belly that you can then play with and have puppet shows, or the plushie version has just straight rounds on the belly so that there is no finger tube. There is very minimal difference between the two options. I prefer the puppet. So I'm going to make the puppet today, which means that we're going to start off with the finger tube. But first, let's go over our materials and our tools and find a place for that guy. So we have the hook. I'm going to be using a 6mm clover hook. I have my tapestry needle, my pair of scissors, my 2 stitch markers, some yarn to embroider the nose when we're all finished, my safety eyes and my washers, and then I have my main color and a contrasting color just for the little tail, as you can see here. I'm going to be using loops and thread demi pearl today, simply because I find that the stitches are a little bit more defined and easier to see. But let's get started. You can either use a magic ring or the chain 2 method to start, whichever is your preference. I prefer the chain 2. I'm going to zoom in the camera in so that you guys can see what's going on a little bit more, and then we're going to get started. That's not zoom, that's pan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think that's good. So first up, because I'm making the finger tube, the puppet version, I'm going to make my finger tube. So I make my slip stitch and I pull it tight on the hook and then I chain 2. This is how I start. And then I'm going to place 8 single crochets into that first chain that we made. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now I am going to do 3 rounds of 8 single crochets after this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 1 round. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Now the next round is an incomplete round with 4 half double crochets. So yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through all 3. That's how you make a half double crochet. We're going to make 4 of those. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now with the Stitchkins and the finger tube, my theory is that the side of the stitch that touches the stuffing should be the wrong side. So I flip the finger tube inside out. And then I am going to mark with a stitch marker the last single crochet that I made in that in round 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3 over. I just usually do the 4th stitch over from where the edge of the half double crochet is, because we're basically splitting up the finger tube into 4 half double crochet and 4 single crochet. When we're attaching it to the belly, in the first round that we attach, we're going to use these 4 single crochet, and in the second round, we're going to use these 4 half double crochet, ignoring these ones. More on that later. I'm going to put this off to the side, and now we will get started on the body. So again, I'm going to use the chain 2 method to start here. So slip stitch, pull it tight, 1, 2, and then I'm going to place 6 single crochets into this first chain that I made. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's round 1. Now round 2 is 2 single crochet and an increase times 2 for a total of 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then round 3 is going to be 8 increases. So we go from 8 stitches to 16. So I'm just going to count to 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. So now I have 16 single crochets all the way around. You'll notice that I'm not using a stitch marker just quite yet because I find that personally taking the stitch marker out and putting it back in slows me down, but I am going to use it in the next round just to help you visually, because in the next round we are going to make our ears. So I put my stitch marker in the first stitch of the round, so I single crochet 1, place the stitch marker. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we've done 9 single crochets, and then we are going to make the ear. The ear is made by slip stitching in the front loop. There is a front loop of every stitch, which is the one that's closer to you, and a back loop, which is the one behind it, farther away from you. So we're going to just go into the front loop, and we're going to slip stitch. Then we're going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I'm going to make 5 half double crochets back down this chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, before we go on to the next loop, we're going to slip stitch back into the same front loop that we did initially. So slip stitch, and then 2 single crochet, which creates the spacing between the ears. And then again, we're going to slip stitch into the front loop and chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then 5 half double crochets back down the chain. Then we're going to slip stitch back into that same front loop once again. And now we have created both of our ears. And I'm going to finish this round with 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3. So this is what it should look like at the end of round 4. Now for round 5, we're going to make sure that when we're working, we keep the ears on the outside instead of working around them like this. We're going to work around them like that. You'll see what I mean. I'm not going to insert the stitch marker again. Or maybe I should? I don't know. So that's 3 decreases. I'm going to put it back. 3 decrease, then 3 single crochet, and then remember how I pointed out the back loops? We used the front loops to create the ears, and we ignored the back loops. So we're going to work into those back loops now and place a single crochet, and then a decrease, and then 1 more back loop only single crochet. And then 1 single crochet and 1 decrease. And that's round 5. We're starting to shape the body, or shape the head into the neck. Round 6 is 4 increase, 3 decrease, and 1 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, Put this back. 5, 6, 7, 8. And then 1 decrease, 2 decrease, 3 decrease, and a single crochet. So that's what your head should look like at the end of round 6. Then round 7, we're going to start making our treble bobble crochet, but first do 1 single crochet, place the stitch marker, and then we're going to make the treble bobble crochet in the next stitch. To do so, we're going to yarn over once, twice. So you should have 1, 2, 3 loops around your hook, and then you're going to insert your hook, yarn over, and pull through. So now you have 1, 2, 3, 4. And you're going to yarn over again, but only pull it through the first 2 loops on the hook. So now you have 3 loops on the hook. You're going to yarn over again and pull it through the first 2. Now you've completed 1 treble crochet and you have the initial loop on your hook for a total of 2 loops. We're going to do this treble crochet 3 more times for a total of 4. And when we're done, we're going to have 5 loops on the hook, okay? So this is treble crochet number 2, number 3, number 4. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 loops on the hook, and I'm going to yarn over and pull through all 5 of those. Then I'm going to do 4 single crochets, and I'm going to repeat the process of making the treble bobble crochet, or stitch. So yarn over twice, insert, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, and do that 3 more times for a total of 4. One, 2, 3, 4, and our initial hook or loop makes 5. Yarn over and pull through all 5. I pull it a little bit tighter just because I find it makes the bobble stitch a bit more pronounced. And then to finish this round, we're just going to make 5 more single crochets around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At this point, I kind of am late. I skipped it. I didn't see it in the pattern. I'm bad. I usually wait till the last minute to insert my eyes and my stuffing, but let's do it now. So we're going to insert the eyes between rounds 3 and 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Roughly about there. These eyes are a little big. Let me find some smaller ones. Bear with me. Sometimes it's tricky. I haven't made this bunny with demi pearl before, so I wasn't sure exactly what size, but I'm thinking 14 millimeter are probably a bit more appropriate. Let's see. I think that looks a bit better. So I've got it between rounds 3 and 4, and I'm going to try to make it so that there's 6 visible stitches between them. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You basically just want to make sure that they're even on either side of the head when you're looking at it straight like this, with the feet and the ears being the reference point. Then I'm going to put my washers and the other washer. And now our eyes are connected, and we can continue on to round 8. Round 8, sorry. Round 8 is a series of 1 single crochet and increase times 6 to go from 12 to 18. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay. Now we're going to, now we're on round 9. This is where, if you're making the puppet, we're going to insert the finger tube. If you're making the plushie, you're going to follow, or you're just going to make a series, instead of doing what I do right now, you're just going to make 18 single crochet around. Ignoring any of the finger tube instructions, you're just going to make 18 single crochet around. And then the next round would also be 18 single crochet around. And then after that, for round 11, they're both the same. But for the puppet, we're going to insert the finger tube so that the half double crochet are at the top of the body and the single crochet are at the bottom. We're going to tuck in both of the yarn ends into the body. And this round starts with 4 single crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now the next 4 single crochets are going to be used to connect the bottom of the belly to the bottom of the finger tube. So you're going to insert your hook into the next working stitch and then into that marked stitch on the finger tube. So we have the working loop, the body stitch, and the finger tube stitch. We're going to yarn over and make a regular single crochet. We're going to do this 3 more times, 2, for a total of 4. So that's 3, and that, I caught the tail. That is 4. So I will explain. We have now connected the bottom of the finger tube using 4 single crochets. You can see it's connected. And these 4 single crochets are going to be ignored in the next round. To finish this round, we're going to make 10 more single crochets working around the outside of the body. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The stitch marker never got moved last time. So I'm going to make my next, to start off round 10, I guess, we're going to make 4 more single crochets. I will replace the stitch marker in the first one. And then, like I said before, we're going to ignore these 4 single crochets that we made in the last round to connect the tube. And we're instead going to use the 4 half double crochets across the top of it. So you can remove the stitch marker that we used to mark the finger tube and go 1, 2, 3, 4. So I ignored these 4 and I worked across the top of the tube. I'm going to skip 1, 2, 3, 4 and work into this next stitch and make 10 single crochets around. I should say that you should probably be stuffing as you go, depending on your preference. I'm going to stuff the head a little bit right now. As I said before, I'm bad for waiting until the end of a project to stuff, and most of the time I will wait until the project is completely finished. So I've got some stuffing in the head now. Now round 11 is the exact same for puppet and plushie. We're just going to make 18 single crochets around the body. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. Now in the next round we are going to make our back legs using the same treble bobble stitches. I made my 3 single crochet already, and I'm going to replace the stitch marker, and then I'm going to make that first back leg. So yarn over twice again, yarn over, pull through the first 2, yarn over, pull through the first 2, and do that 4 times total. So I have 1 loop, 2 loop, 3 loop, 4 loop, and 5. Yarn over and pull through all 5, and that's the finished treble bobble. 2, 3, make 4 single crochet, and then another one. Another treble bobble, I mean. So again, I have 5 loops on my hook, yarn over, pull through, and then finish this round. Actually, not finish, getting ahead of myself. We're going to make 6 single crochet. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we're going to make the tail. So I'm going to grab my end, the end of my contrasting color here, and I have completed this last stitch. This is, instead of doing a color change, I'm going to color change but make it a clean color change for the bobble. So I've finished the stitch, I yarn in, like I insert the hook in the next one, and I yarn over, grabbing the piece of the new contrast color. So I have my old color, my new color, and I'm going to make a bobble, ignoring this loop. We're still going to aim to have 5 loops on the hook, but now it'll be 6 loops, including the old color. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I'm going to cut this yarn. We're done with it. And I am going to take the old working yarn, the main body yarn, and I'm going to yarn over and pull through all 6 of those loops now. And then I'm going to continue working in the round with 3 more single crochet, or 2 more single crochet, sorry, to finish off this round. So that finishes off round 12, and we have our tail in a different color, and you can see that it's pretty clean looking. Aside from the tail, you don't see any other color. And then round 10, we're going to decrease down to 12, so 1 single crochet and a decrease. Do that 6 times. And 12, and now the final round we're going to decrease down to 6. But before that, let's just stuff the body a little bit more, because the hole is about to get smaller. I'll finish stuffing once I have decreased. You might want to stuff it more now, but we're just going to make 6 decreases around the outside, or around the body, sorry. And then whenever I'm finishing, I yarn over, like basically I chain, and then I cut the yarn, and I pull that tail all the way through, and it knots it. We're going to finish stuffing the body now. Okay, and then I'm going to take the tapestry needle and thread it using that yarn tail that we used. Make sure that when you cut this tail, you want it to be long enough that you can use it to sew this end closed. I use the front loops and pass it through, weaving in and out, and then pull it, cinch it closed like such. And then I'll insert the hook in a space next to it and bring it out relatively close. Because to fasten this end now, what I do is I make 2 surface slip stitches. So I'm going to insert the hook and bring it out, yarn over. So I have a loop on my hook, then I'm going to grab yarn and pull it through, but pull it all the way through and pull that tight. I'm going to do that one more time. It doesn't really matter which way you go or which direction, but I find that this essentially secures the end, and then we're going to hide the tail. So now our bunny is crocheted, and the last step is to embroider the nose. So thread the needle with the nose color, and then I insert it in the bottom, and I bring it out between rounds 1 and 2 on the side of the nose. I pull most of it through, just leaving enough to tie with later. And then on the opposite side, insert the needle between rounds 1 and 2, in roughly the same spot symmetrically, and pull that tight. And this will embroider a line, essentially, as you can see. And I'm going to do this 2 or 3 times until I'm happy enough with the size of the nose. And then on the last pass, I'm going to insert it, but instead of bringing it back out here, I'm going to bring it out in the same spot that we inserted initially. And I'm going to cut the yarn so they're both roughly the same length and tie 2 square knots, making sure that they're nice and tight. And then this is another method to hide the ends. You can take your scissors and poke it inside. And just like that, we have completed Sage the baby bunny. And as you can see, there's an opening here. So they're a finger puppet, even better. Even better than just a regular plushie. You've made a finger puppet. If you've got any questions at all, my social media is down here. You can leave a question in the comments or send me an email. I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. These little guys are perfect for Easter, which we've got about a month, so you can probably make a whole warren of rabbits. I think that's what it's called. But thanks for watching, and thanks for following along. Have a great day.